Now it's a bit of a tough one. I'm melting.
Yeah. Oh gosh, was that your breakfast?
That was my yesterday's breakfast.
Are you living in the van?
No, I used to spend my summers in here. Now I'm back to the city for the weekends right now. I try to get out of the city as much as possible these days. So the original idea that we figured like self-sustaining structures could be a nice chance to reactivate spaces, abandoned sites or construction sites or unused spaces.
Oh no, it's starting to move.
Yeah, let me put it somewhere more flat.
So,
Here we go.
gosh, one mobile structure to another. It's really mobile.
A bit too mobile.
Too mobile, right? Is there a front door?
Yeah, when it's in its locked up position,
Yeah.
this is the main access. That's when it really starts.
Were you really inspired by boats?
Yeah, I feel like we started drifting in the boat direction as soon as we started working with pulleys. And I mean, at the end of the day, this is kind of a boat of the streets. Like, you do need to be self-sustainable.
Are you a sailor?
No, but this got me excited about the idea of it. Like, all of those devices are actually from a yacht shop.
From a yacht shop?
Yeah, all the systems.
Yeah, it feels like putting out a sail or taking in a sail, right?
Yeah.
But actually, it's a way of protecting from sun and rain and...
Yeah. So, I mean, the idea was that you have like different stages of how much you want to open up to the public.
Okay.
In its default setting, if it's closed off, this would be a living room. Like, you have your workable spaces, as in the two shelves left and right where you can live. You have your bathroom in here. You have your kitchen. Here you have your storage unit for your tables and all the stuff you might want to bring out. Then the idea is that you can use this in-between space in different extents of opening up to make it part of the surrounding in a way. So like the first stage would obviously be to put the blinds up. You're visually exposed now, but you could still keep the glass closed. You can really react, like if you want to have a bit of a wind blow through it, it's nice because you have more shaded area here. So you can kind of adjust to the surrounding. You can feel the wind now coming through. It's a game changer. Yeah. Yeah, if you would want to max it out of like how much you want to be inside out, you can bring these entire walls all the way out. The whole idea was that we really wanted a space that like makes use of the space around it rather than the space that you have with you. Whoa! And this would be like the peak of exposing it. We kind of like that you do use the facade if you're not using it as a facade anymore, as something else, like a shading device in this case.
It's just such a beautiful structure. And also the way it fits into the countryside.
Exactly. We felt like it's as much as the place where you park it at, as this place itself. Because at the end of the day, this is quite restricted, but now when we can walk around, suddenly it's huge. We have our storage to like have our potential anything there to store stuff, and then what happens is in between the space and you can extend the space. So like we have a kitchen. This is an alcohol powered stove. You put your alcohol in here and then like you just buy liter bottles. You can run quite a long time on just a liter, so it's ideal. We have a bathroom with a shower and a toilet.
A shower in there? Really?
Yeah. You have a shower here.
Okay.
I can also turn on the light with
yeah?
it up.
Yeah, great.
Let's see which switch it was. I have to turn on the inverter. We get light in here. Perfect. So we can have a kitchen light. We have the bathroom light. On top we have 600 watt, 200 watt flexible panels. And we have a 300 amp hour battery. Hidden behind here, all the sizing calculations were not only based on the idea that two people live here, but on the idea that you do want to have enough infrastructure and power to share it with people. We've been 7 people on here before. We based the housing on 2 people, like 1 person per shelf. But we also made it that it can expand as well. Like if you want to have friends over, you can like, oh, turn this into a double bed.
It's a system I've seen before.
Yeah, it's quite common in vans, like to have this finger system of turning your bench into, like switching from bed to bench.
And so, how complicated was it to do this? Because the tolerances are probably pretty small to make it feel smooth.
Yeah, exactly. Like hitting the node between, like, also because it's so elevated from the ground floor, all the heavy elements are supposed to be placed close to the ground as possible.
So I see that structurally you are sound since there are two beams that go all the way to your extension.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, it's pretty spacious. You can, like, you have your power plugs here, charge your phone. Also here we have a little storage unit. You can have your lights, like a reading light, ambient light. It's the same on the other side, but there you cannot extend it. It's also kind of nice because you can, like, you're on the same height. In theory, there's a chance to just put a curtain here if you want a bit more privacy, but we also figured this is not the structure you move into if you do want privacy, like with a one-person use.
But this is now a queen bed. It's big.
Yeah, it's pretty comfortable. We had good sleepovers here. So it's quite dynamic in how many people you want to host. So the bathroom is quite basic. Like we're using a compost toilet, which has a separator. And
So it goes right into some sawdust.
Exactly. You mix this with some sawdust and your urine just goes into a bucket. And then we have compostable bags. So you can, depending where you are and what's the legal...
You just pull the bag and throw...
You can open the whole system.
Oh, okay.
And then, yeah, we have a bit of ventilation down there. So it keeps the smell out and has a bit of a vacuum suction. And then we have the shower.
This is really just one tiny space, but you managed to fit a shower and a toilet.
Exactly, and if it's too tiny for you, which has been an issue for some people height-wise, you can get some extra centimeters, and then you can actually stand in here quite well. All those lights you see next to all the water appliances is meant to, we figured that one of the main restraints in like staying off the grid for a long time mostly is not power, because you do have your solar that you get everywhere, but it's mostly water that you're running out of your water tanks. So what we did, we were inspired by the endless showers, which is based on, like, we have two tanks. Now we have indication how full they are right now. The left one is your freshwater tank and the green one is your recycle water tank. So you can, whenever you take a shower, make informed decisions where you pull your water from. So the idea is that if you're planning to take a long shower, you could start with recycle water. What happens with the recycled water is that all the water of the shower is getting catched in this basin, and then it goes in the back through a filtration system. Like we have UVC disinfection, activated carbon, and particle filters. And then it goes straight back into the outlet. So you can theoretically endlessly shower in your own recycled water. And then if you see you have quite a bit of fresh water still left, instead of like hot water and cold water, you suck your water from the recycle or from the fresh water source. Ideally, I would take a shower in recycled water to have a long shower and then just finish up with fresh water. All the water that goes into the water catchment here is collected in the tank underneath. And after the tank has a certain level of being full, it activates a recycling system in the back that filters all of the water and stores it in the recycled water tank. This is the recycle system. We have our freshwater pump, we have our recycled water pump, and we have the pump operating our filtration system. So our filtration, it starts with a very basic filter for like big particle stones or whatever you have in your shower or in water bodies. Then you go through a smaller particle filter. Then we go through activated carbon, another particle filter, so this should take out like bigger pieces and oils. And then this is a UVC filter, so the water here passes a UVC lamp and the radiation of the lamp kills all potential biological hazard. So I guess it's quite handy for the idea of tapping into a river or something, where that's probably the main concern. Then you can choose if the water that's filtered, it either goes back into your recycling tank. For instance, if you would take a shower, the used shower water is being catched it undergoes filtration, and then it's stored back into your filtration tank where you can access it. But you could also just close this and open this valve, so the recycled water comes straight out of this outlet. So if you want to ever rinse your car or something directly from the river, you can do this. You can also choose where the recycling system takes its water from. So on default, it takes it from the tank where all the cold water from the shower is being collected. But as I said, if you would be next to a river, you can just use this tube. You connect it to the inlet, you switch that the recycling system is fed from this tube, and then you can hold this tube into any water body and have filtrated water on demand endlessly. This is activated carbon, which takes like out sands and oils. This is just a thread, so it's just like it has very little small cavities where the water goes through, and it takes out the bigger debris. And this is kind of our control system of everything. Okay. So like we have a sensor in the tank that catches the gray water, the water that we want to recycle. And as soon as the tank has reached a certain level of being filled, it automatically turns on this relay. This relay then turns on the UVC and the filtration. So it's a quite basic mechanic, but it's a smart system. As soon as you have accumulated enough dirty water from your shower to make it worth to start a recycling process, it does so and then stores it in your recycled water tank again. You see if the taps are closed, otherwise we're gonna get flooded. They haven't been running for a while. It's an easy fix. Yeah, there was one pipe that I didn't have time to connect.
Fresh out. Oh, well, that's the important one.
Yeah. Okay. It's now all disconnected because we had to go through the inspection and need to reconnect it. Oh yeah, now we got water. Stop hanging us. Right.
There you go.
Something's running?
Yes.
Running?
Perfect. Oh yeah, on both sides. No, I'm afraid that whoever put the shower back on, it's not tightly connected, so all the pressure goes out here. Oh yeah, I can even tighten it by hand. It's just very loose on. Okay, let's try it again. Right now we are very low on tanks, so instead of having hot and cold water that you can switch from, it accesses in either fresh water from the water tank below or recycled water, which is in another tank below us. So depending on what you want to wash, let's say you're doing your dishes and fresh water, I guess you would probably want to run it on recycled water. And then you're accessing the water from there. We also have drinking water. You just activate the pump, okay, and then you get your drinking water out of this opening. So it has a separate outlet to not mix up recycled water or not clean water with your drinking water. So for this, you just turn on the pump. Like right now, we're also quite low on water. Then you have it out of this tap.
Nice. Is this a shower loop system?
Yeah. Crank it up. It's a shower loop system, and we should test it. You switch on. I just came across it as the endless shower system. Water rising, water risen. Yeah. Okay, we got water.
Whoa! Still has a bit of color.
Yeah, it's not perfect.
But it's also because we don't have charcoal.
You see, it's full of charcoal. Maybe we just put the charcoal in the center one, because then the 5 microns can take the charcoal out.
How little water are you using for this system?
The only water that is lost from the system is the water that you drink, or all the water that goes into this sink is automatically put in the black water tank, because it has probably oils or food pieces, like stuff that our recycling system cannot handle. But all of your shower water, which is the main use of water for you, is recycled and restored back. So in theory, you could endlessly take showers. I mean, they would not get cleaner over time because our recycling system has its limits. But technically, you could shower forever, and then your biggest bottleneck would be your drinking water. All right. What's interesting in our system is that the inlet for our recycle system, you can also connect it to this one. So the idea was that if you are off-grid, but you come across the water bodies that seem fresh or reasonable, you could, instead of recycling your shower water, connect it to a lake, for instance, suck out the lake water, run it through the recycle system, and directly use it for your kitchen tap or for your shower system.
Wow, so that's what I call real autonomy. I mean, you could literally survive on this.
Oh yeah, no, you can definitely shower, and like I think I would be confident if it's a clean lake. to drink the water. So like there's no biological hazard after this system thanks to the UVC. I think the only thing that we are not taking care of because it's not a reverse osmosis system is like any chemical debris. So like if you're in a lake that looks clean and there's no pharmaceutical power plants close by or whatever, I would be completely comfortable in drinking it. And in the case that you are actually comfortable in drinking it, you can also just let it go through the filtration and individually fill up your tanks again. So like if you would be planning to have 2 weeks on the road, but you're right now at a lake, you could refill all of your tanks before you go, and then you should be good for another 2 weeks.
I also like the details, the electric panel you have there, and also you did this automatic hookup, so you don't even have to open the...
Exactly. So this is just to fill up your main water tanks on the beginning of a trip. So like if you just have it operating, this would be closed. Once in a while you take this one out. You can also we like these old school ones saying like, okay, we want an outside water access. Maybe you do want to take your shower outside or whatever. So you can always connect this to here as well and use this as your outdoor water tap. One of our main restrictions as well was weight, because we did need to pass the legal street inspection with the weight of this structure. Since we did want to make it all out of wood, this became like the biggest challenge of all, because the wood was so heavy already, like to make it structural sound. I mean, we did want it to use all organic materials, so yeah.
Push. Okay, we can try plant.
All of this wood is sourced from the trees around you. We even took it to a point that we did not want to use any glue in the wood structure. Normally if you do CLT panels, you cross-laminate with a lot of glue, which makes it way harder to actually recycle the wood or like to incinerate it without releasing toxins. So one challenge, which not all of us were too fond of, but we're all surprised how well it works, was to make it all dowel connected. So you see all the panels we have, they are all connected using wooden dowels. There's no glue connecting the boards. It was quite a challenge, like we had to stack the panels as if we would want to have them on a CNC table. Then the CNC drilled the holes in different angles for us. We dehydrated the dowels to shrink them as much as possible, hammered them in, and then as they were rehydrating from the air, they expanded, and that actually really made it solid.
Down, right?
Yeah, but it's been a huge gamble because, I mean, honestly, I was a bit concerned if a mobile moving structure would be a smart choice to test.
Now you know, because you've been really moving this thing.
This has been all over. No, that's why it's a beautiful surprise. Like we were really like, okay, this is a gamble of not only having a dowel laminated timber structure, but having a mobile one. But we also built this storage unit. It's not as full as it used to be, but like in this shelf, we fitted everything that we thought is needed to either turn this space into an activated space or the space around it. So, I mean, we can start very basic. So like step one would probably be to be accessible from the outside. Then we thought of different setups, like if you want to have a dinner party, like here you could like have your working studio as 2 people, but it's all based on the same principles also with the flap rings. Like if you want to open your space to more people, you can always like adjust.
You designed that table too?
Yeah, it's all from, this table is made from all of the offcuts we had, which was nice, like all the wood that we didn't use at the end. So yeah, you can actually, we had like game nights in here with like 10 people sitting on this table. You can cook over here. We have a lounge chair that we made. You want to hang out a bit in the shade?
You made this, the lounge chair too?
Yeah, we really like all the more or less the recycled offcuts, and also this chair is all like all the connections are made with wooden dowels again. Other than movable joints, this is all doweled. Same here, all the joineries is just offcuts and dowels from this entire project. Then we have a lot of like little chairs here if you want to throw in a dinner party. So yeah, it's always on your choice. Do you want to activate this space? Do you want to activate the outside space? I mean, one of our favorites was letting down one of the side walls and using it as a projector screen, so you can make movie nights, which is,
of course.
yeah. And at night it's really cute because inside of the folds there's a LED light system. So like in the dark it illuminates and kind of turns this whole space in front of the van into a semi-indoor outdoor space as well. We also opted for having a fully organic facade. So this is cotton, but it has like a bee wax layer. You can see all the connections of the fabric are also done, like we call it the jacket. So you can take off the jacket, you can put it in a washing machine. Since we did opt for having organic materials as a facade, we did have to have the capability of taking it off every 2 years, giving it a wash, re-waxing it. A bit of an effort, but so far we have not been leaking, and we have not redone I think about now we should give it a wash.
Is there a reason why you have fabric on the front? Is it aesthetic?
We do need it because behind this we have our wooden structure. It kind of has the same system as the wing, so like we have the wooden structure and then we have wooden spaces, and then on those spaces the fabric lays. So you can, sometimes you can feel...
Protecting the wood?
Exactly, it protects the wood. There's a little buffer space between the wood and the fabric. Like underneath that we have membranes that are waterproof and for humidity exchange. We also in theory thought like the in-between space here, you can see this is the thickness of the spacer, could be a great place to put insulation in if you're in cold areas. But yeah, that could be an add-on like that. Even if you use it for different seasons, like you took your jacket off, you wash it, you put some insulation in for winter time, you put it back on. So yeah, this is how you would enter your house. We have our access steps right here in the storage. So you can like bring it in, that rough terrain, and then you can enter. The job was really to design it like a home. So then here you have your storage units, just like you would have in a house, where you can put your jacket, where you keep like the basics with our fire extinguisher, first aid kit.
Do those come out? No.
Yeah, there was another idea, like same as in this shelf, that you can take everything out. We want to have everything dynamic. So like you can take those out, and this would be where you store your games. I mean, we took it that far that you can take the toilet outside if you're in nature and you prefer having a nice natural experience. You can take it out with you if you want to bring some of your stored stuff. Okay? So if we would have a medical emergency right now, we can bring our box. Here you can turn on all the lights for the whole space. So it really is like you come home to your loft. So you have your entrance light. This is the light for the main area. So yeah, here you can store all of your kitchen equipment.
And hang a lot of things too, right?
Exactly. And like,
And then you have the burner, which is propane?
no, it's like ethanol powered or like spiritus. It's very hard to power an induction cooker with solar power. So at the end we opted for spiritus, which is just like this stove runs on alcohol. So it's plant-based and it's just very high alcohol. And you can cook with alcohol, and like 1 liter bottle, it can last you like a month. Here you can put your pans and pots. And then we also have a fridge. It runs on 12 volt as well. It's like a little compressor fridge. You can make ice cubes in there.
No.
With almost no power, it's insane how well they work. This uses less than like those standard ventilator 12 volt cool boxes we had. One decision we took, which I guess is uncommon for camper vans, but common for houses, is to have it run all on 230 volts instead of on like a 12 volt system like I have it in my van. I guess at the end of the day, just to make it more feel like a home, like you have a wall plugs that you are used to, you can plug your phone in. This is our electronic solar system. So this is what manages all of the charging of the battery right now, and it's also a massive inverter. So we're constantly inverting our 12 volt solar system to 230. So yeah, everything from this point on is a normal household electrical system. I'm always surprised here, like really of being like, it is so little space at the end of the day. But I feel like I could live in here for a few years comfortably, because like, I mean, I guess it's different if you would be in a cold area and you cannot make use of the surrounding, but like having this here makes me feel this parking lot is my home. Like I have a garden, I have a terrace, I have everything. If I would want to have a little siesta right now and not leave everything open, I really like to give it the setting where the facade is closed, so you're disconnected, but you leave it at a bit of an angle so you still catch some nice breeze. This is a great halfway solution for sleeping if you do want to be visually protected or separated from the outside, but you still want to have airflow in it. It's generally nice with the slabs because you can really respond to your surrounding. Let's say you would have big time sun coming in from this side. You can say, okay, we seal off here. On this side we're open, but we give it a bit of an opening still to have cross ventilation. So yeah, I feel like the general idea of this thing is that if you make everything dynamic, you can always quite well respond to the place that you're in. We seeked a lot of inspiration from sailing systems because we have the same challenges and moving parts.
So a boat of the road, I like that.
Boat of the road, yeah. Oh no. Ah. Yeah, that's the only struggle we sometimes have if you don't lower these two perfectly at the same time. One side can tilt quicker than the other one. But here we go. Now I can just go up and down, exactly. And then you can just lock it. And now no one can open it from the outside anymore just by connecting those two beams.
That's cool. That's a cool lock.
Quite basic. Yeah, because you can only access all of the systems from the inside. The only lock we need is over there.
So this setup would be for
Windy days, or like, I personally don't know any scenario where I would prefer to have both of them down. I think they are meant to be up, but have to be down for transport, otherwise you would have wings. You press it out, and then you can...
I also like the fact, the honesty, you can see what you're getting.
Yeah, it's funny that you say it because like we came up with this weird word, rawness. Like we said, we want all systems to be quite raw and honest. Like you should look at them and know how they function. We don't want to hide functions. But it's crazy how much you feel the difference with the wind flow. I wasn't aware. So yeah. Unlock. So we were like, the pulley system, why should we hide it? Let's put it right in front of the window so people see what they are doing, how it works, that you need to tie it up so you always know what's the state of your system, you're in connection with it. We chose to have everything exposed, like the wiring is semi-exposed, you kind of see where it connects to. You always know what's the state of your water system, you know, the mechanical parts are very obvious. I guess the idea is that you could walk in and you look at it, you know how it works.
I see so many things that I like and that are so innovative. We're in a heat wave, you know, the cross wind here is, I mean, makes it so nice. And you have these things you open on the sides that are like wings that are protecting us from the sun. The whole thing works. I mean, is that something you knew when you were designing it?
No. On the beginning, we thought about using a lot of like more glass. Like one idea was even to have the roof out of glass, so you're fully immersed into nature. But then we did some climatic simulations and realized we are building a greenhouse on reels. And then, yeah, the main driver really was the weight restriction from the safety check, because the wood is so heavy we're using already that everything that was not structural needed to be as lightweight as possible. And then fabric kind of became the obvious choice. We got inspired. If you go in the industrial areas in Barcelona, you see all the garage doors made this way. We built this whole thing as a like very low-tech prototype to test the facades on. We tested different ones, mounted different ones. But this has been such a gamble as well. It did not work immediately, but within a day we figured how to make it work just by playing with a real thing instead of trying to like figure it on a computer, because it only took us that far.
It looks more housey with, you know, the windows partially closed because it creates a sense of a structure, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you are somewhere where you just want to enjoy the view but not be too exposed to the outside, you also always have like the setting of making it more like an observation space visually, but not be connected with the elements. You can just close yourself off. And like the thing that those like 6 or 8 square meters that we have here in the center can turn into anything, but also be folded up into nothingness again, always gives you the space. Like we had card nights here, we had sleepovers, like the night we had a poker game in here, and then we were like, oh, we don't want to leave, we want to stay here. So we just put all of this here, and suddenly we had this huge area where we put mattresses on and we put some hammocks between the beams. And like you had enough space to host a dining party for 10 people easily, because that's the feeling that surprised me, and that's what I get in your feeling. Like I really feel like having a place like this and putting it somewhere. And like I guess part of our inspiration was also kind of like the legal loopholes you have in some areas where you can buy a piece of land and it does not have to be constructible land if the infrastructure you put on there is self-sustaining and does not to be connected to the ground.
The ground or the grid or the water system.
Exactly. So like you could put this on a non-constructible land that you could afford quite cheaply, and the fact that it has reels and you could put it anywhere makes it a permanent structure. So yeah, we all started dreaming of being like, hey, how about everyone puts a bit of money together, you get a cheap piece of land, and then like you could convert any like wilderness into a habitat this way, which is beautiful.